Hey listeners, it's Joel, and today we've got a mini episode for you. If you listened to our episode earlier this week, where we discussed toys and how they are made, with special guest Jason Geyer from ToyOtter, you probably heard us mentioning some Indiana Jones talk that was edited out of that episode. We were having such a good time chatting that we had about 30 minutes worth of content where we were talking about the Young Indy TV series and the new movie coming out, of course. So in honor of the latest and last Indiana Jones movie in theaters now, Dial of Destiny, we figured we'd drop this little mini episode to whet your appetite and tide us over until we have a new episode next week. So sit back, enjoy this 30-minute mini episode when we're talking about all things Indiana Jones.
You're listening to the Next Wave Radio Network.
Round one, fight!
Can't we do our own secret shows?
All our shows are secret shows.
We have the tools, we have the talent.
You have to use so many cuss words.
Let's go.
Ooh, yeah!
I was at the bookstore today and grabbed some stuff for the kids and just going down. You know, I like my sci-fi books and came across some of the old Indiana Jones novels from the 90s. And there was one. It was Indiana Jones and the Philosopher's Stone.
Like, what?
I think I need to bring that home and put it next to my wife's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone book.
Interesting.
Just be like, who did it better?
What? Hey, there you go. What is it?
I just got this off eBay, so I guess
Nice.
this came out when Crystal Skull came out. Maybe I think it's got Crystal Skull, but
You mean the best one?
Joe, please.
Okay.
Don't embarrass me in front of our guest.
the only reason I got it is I had seen this on a Pinterest or somewhere, so it took forever to track down what it was from. But it has
That's awesome.
these great these aren't quite isometric, but
diorama.
Yeah, of all the pitfalls from all the movies.
Nice.
That's
So you can kind of see the layout of the temples and stuff.
I love
where they
that.
go.
That's so cool.
So it's neat. It's just kind of like a weird little encyclopedia, but it actually goes through all the comic stories, all the, like one page will cover, here's 10 years worth of comic story.
That's so fun, man. I love stuff like that.
And is it kind of like in chronological order where, it goes from Young Indy to,
yes.
I guess, where we are now? Is this?
I think it touches on the Young Indy series. I tried to rewatch some of those because now they're on Disney Plus.
Oh, are they?
Some of those are hard to watch.
Yeah.
Until you get to like the Sean Patrick Flannery stuff, then you're like, all right, this is starting to feel a little bit more like the tone matches.
What a surprise. George Lucas has trouble directing children.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the credits on these are insane. Yeah. I mean, it really is like, Darabont and tons and tons of actors now, like Daniel Craig and
Jeffrey Wright. I believe I first discovered on an episode of Young Indy Jones.
Jeffrey Wright is
fantastic.
He plays Sidney Bechet.
Yeah.
That's actually probably one of the better episodes.
That's one of the best. That was one of those special 2-hour mini movies, right? They did a few of those.
Well, no. So here's what it is.
You're wrong, Joel.
You had the young, because again, I'm a little older than you guys. So I was of the age where I had aged out of something like that, but I was still nerdy enough to want to sit and watch them, if that makes sense. I was in college when they came out.
We're not dissimilar in age, I think, the three of us.
Well, I'm like 10 years older than you.
Well, all right, yeah.
So it's enough of a. It's all the same stuff, but just the viewpoint.
True.
So,
Jesus, Joel, let him finish the story.
When you guys came of age, it was more accepted. Let's just say that.
That's a good point. Yes, I will grant you that.
So anyway, it was the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, and George Lucas wanted to make an educational TV show. And so they went back and forth between him as a little kid and him as Sean Patrick Flannery. Mm-hmm. And in every episode, it's centered around a historical event where he meets a lot of historical people.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't make for the most exciting stories because they try to shoehorn action in and stuff. And it's very TV show budget. And he was trying out all the stuff that he'd use on Phantom Menace and everything where how can I just stretch this budget like crazy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of green screen.
And I have all these directors and all these writers. So and it's funny. There's not that much green screen, but there is a ton of like set extension where they can or duplicating things. And you'll see the camera will just suddenly lock off. And then all this stuff happens.
Yep.
And then it's moving again. But it feels very TV show. And they had the bookends, which I'm sure you've seen with the George Hall, the old like 93-year-old Indiana Jones
with the eye patch. Oh, I just realized that that's the
eye patch.
Yeah, that's the latest Indy Jones we see. Oh, I wonder if we'll see him. See how he loses the eye in this latest movie.
What's really crazy is Harrison Ford's almost that age.
I know he looks nothing like the guy they cast in those films.
And it took place like in 1992. Like where they're fudging Ford's age.
Yeah.
They were saying Indy is, in his 90s in like 1990.
Wow. And
they're like bad comedy. It's just the weirdest thing where he's just this get off my lawn character.
Yes, absolutely. Although, not dissimilar from Harrison Ford's attitude today, I would argue.
No, not really. What happened was when I think the second year, when the ratings came back and they were okay, but not great, they got rid of the little kid.
Yeah.
It became all Sean Patrick Flannery.
Jake Lloyd Light.
They tried to make it more exciting, more adventurous, but still the same thing. And that's when you got like the special episode with Harrison Ford, which is the one with Jeffrey Wright.
Oh, that's right, because it bookends, where he's getting the saxophone at the end, right?
Yeah, it bookends him with the saxophone. So you've got like Louis Armstrong and Sidney Bechet and Elliot Ness. And it's like everybody in Chicago in the 20s who could be there pops into this episode. It's really bizarre.
It's like a multiverse. Indiana Jones multiverse.
Yeah, and they're all friends, by the way. They're all buddies. They're all like college
all
buddies.
Historical figures know each other. We all know that.
So that was all kind of weird. So what happened is it had 2 seasons, got canceled for the 3rd season. They had like all the 3rd season or most of it written and ready to go. And ABC was like, nope, too expensive. It's doesn't have the ratings. So they canceled it.
Who would we have met in subsequent episodes? What historical figures? Joan of Arc or Amelia Earhart?
Joan of Arc.
I mean, you can look it up. They've got like a list because they were going chronologically. So at a certain point,
Abraham Lincoln.
You do have this huge gap from the show of like 1926 until 1936 when you see Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what happened was a year or so later, George Lucas repackaged them all as 2-hour movies.
Oh, that's what
happened. So he cut out a lot of stuff. And they edited 2 somewhat similar 1-hour shows.
It's interesting.
So if you watch these now, those 2-hour movies have a very distinct first half and second half because it's really 2 different episodes they crammed together.
Is that how they've released them then? They haven't put the individual episodes. You can only see them as a smushed together movie?
Yeah, and they took out the old guy. They took out old Indy.
Oh, no.
And they smushed together. What? So all of the little kid is now where it would go back and forth between him at like 10 and him at 17 or whatever it was.
It's like The Godfather.
Now it's all little kid episodes.
And then older Indy episodes.
And older Indy episodes.
They took out the young rock element.
So it's but I watched 2 of the movies and it was tough. Like he's doing stuff with Thomas Edison and
I get that kind of around. What a life. Indiana Jones.
I love that he did nothing but interact with interesting like historical figures. Like he was never just like it's just some normal everyday Joe like that he just kind of ran across and
Well, and it's got Henry Jones throughout the thing. His dad, which is a guy kind of playing Sean Connery.
I don't remember that.
As an old man, as a young man. Like he's not acting like James Bond. He's acting like 60-year-old Sean Connery as a 20-year-old.
The women just want to keep talking, so I hit them. Because they just can't let it go.
I love that quote from him.
The punchline is yes, I'd recommend it highly.
No, I remember really enjoying them, and I would take after Last Crusade. I couldn't get enough Indy, so even if it was low quality made for TV,
for sure,
prepubescent Indiana Jones.
Mystery of the Blues is one of the better ones. I think one's called Attack of the Hawkmen. Which is also one of the better ones. I think that's the one with Daniel Craig.
What about the one where he's like on Broadway with who's the musical composer?
That's the one that he just talked about. I thought
No, it's a different one.
No.
Oh.
Mystery of the Blues is Chicago.
Oh, okay.
So that's all like jazz and Capone and crime.
Yeah, this episode had like Anne Heche. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I'm sure.
No, the one where he's where he does the musical. He's working for who's the famous composer? Symphony in Blue or whatever.
Gershwin. He's working with Gershwin.
Thank you.
It's
Gershwin,
got like Busby Berkeley stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Right? And the Broadway, because they're putting on like don't know, Gold Diggers in 1925.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember that being a really good one too.
I wish it was Starlight Express.
Yeah.
And that
Much
would
more
be
entertaining.
way too current, but that would be great to see him on roller skates.
So now it's Young Indiana Jones Adventures, I think, or the Adventures of Young Indiana
course.
Jones. So they dropped the Chronicles
The Chronicles
kind
of
of thing. So
Indiana Jones.
Narnia.
so that's what it is. So Attack of the Hawkmen has Anthony Daniels in it.
Oh,
Anthony
what a
Daniels
surprise!
returned to a Lucasfilm property.
I know exactly. He found the time.
But he's so good at like just branching out and separating himself from George Lucas.
Yeah.
Oh, and it says Clint Eastwood was approached to play the elder brother of Indiana Jones, but turned it down despite a $10 million offer. I'm going to say that wasn't true for an ABC TV show that had a very limited budget.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Although I could see that.
That's kind of
Clint
crazy.
Eastwood as Indiana Jones' older brother.
Here's some of the directors: Frank Darabont, Nicholas Roeg, which is surprising, Mike Newell,
Wow.
Man.
Joe Johnson, Jonathan Hensley, Terry Jones, Simon Windsor, Carrie Fisher.
Oh.
That was the drug addiction episode.
Where young Indy goes to his heroin phase, chasing the
Young
dragon.
Indy goes to rehab.
Yeah.
So most episodes, Lucas did the story and then handed it off to writers to flesh out.
Which is for the best. That's
Yeah.
how you're going to get peak George Lucas. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I am excited. I'm a little disappointed about this new one because I found out just recently that Spielberg wasn't directing, which doesn't seem right.
You didn't know that? That was one of the first things that came out about it.
I must have missed that tidbit when they released it. I just heard, hey, new Indiana Jones 5 coming in 2020. I think at the time they were aiming for a 2022 release, but here we are, 2023. And I didn't hear anything about the director at the time, and then just found out a couple of months ago when they started. I'm seeing it everywhere now.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he didn't really direct Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, so you would just imagine that.
oh, really? Oh, because George Lucas, you mean?
Oh, he was there.
Oh.
he was there, but I wouldn't say
He was
he
counting money.
directed Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Felt a
He
little
was,
checked
he
out.
was like, Jesus, Harrison, I'm busy. Leave me alone. Just counting his money behind the camera.
Yeah, when the director says he doesn't want to leave the United States and be away from his family for an Indiana Jones movie, that's not a good sign.
You felt that. You felt that on the screen too. You were just like, "Oh, this seems so narrow in scope."
Those CG monkeys.
Yep.
Unfortunate. I'm not sure if they've repeated that in this one. Hopefully, James.
I've heard.
I think this one's pretty globetrotty. Yeah.
Have you guys seen The Flash?
Not yet.
Yes.
Okay, so I've heard it's basically like the Flash movie in that if you go in with no expectations, it's a fine movie. It's serviceable. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
I'll take it.
I went in with zero expectations on that one and walked away like, okay, that was all right.
yeah. I mean, it's good. I've heard it is better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Well,
Not as good as the original
Yeah.
trilogy.
That's
bar.
tough, man.
yeah. Wow. Even Temple of Doom.
Look, dude, Temple of Doom's a good movie. You
I
got to
know.
leave that alone. Temple of Doom is fun.
See, well, it's funny, Joel. We are on the same page. It's always been my least favorite. Over the years,
I think everybody's.
it's grown. No, man, I have friends who that is their absolute favorite. They will die on that hill.
Don't
They
understand
think
that.
it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Now, I will say,
I don't understand that one either, but I don't think it's a horrible movie.
Right.
from
No, I agree.
a design standpoint and a set piece standpoint,
Yeah.
it should have been a much better movie than it was.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Crystal Skull type of thing, where I think the creativity was in there and the spark was in there, and the execution was just kind of all over the map.
On paper, Crystal Skull works. No, but I've told you this before too, Joel. Like, I think Temple of Doom it harkens more back to like those serial adventure films
Yeah.
than Raiders of the Lost Ark did.
True.
Raiders of the Lost Ark just had a much stronger script.
And have you guys seen Gunga Din?
Yes.
Can't say I have.
It's basically a sequel to Gunga Din.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So Gunga Din, 1939, I want to say, maybe 37, 38, somewhere around there. But it's late 30s. Cary Grant, Victor McLaglen, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., a rough mirror of the plot of Temple of Doom.
Really? Yeah.
Without well, I mean, they're British soldiers in India, and the Tuggy cult
Yeah. The Dougies.
has a temple that they discover, and they want to get the riches out of it.
All right.
And then they're beset by the cult, and they're kidnapped, and they're in there and the leader is basically Mola Ram. I mean, go look up the pictures. He's without the headdress. He's basically the exact same character.
That's awesome.
There's a creepy old man that tells them, "You are going to Pinkut Palace.
He loves it.
Find Sivalinga and bring back to
Bring
us."
back to
Bring back to us.
So yeah, it's
Love that guy.
yeah. You watch it and you'll be like,
Does it also have the hearts being ripped out of people's rib cages and the child torture?
They vaguely talk about it. They don't have children in it, of course.
Yeah.
Not a Spielberg film, so
Well, there
no
you go.
children. They do have an elephant. They do have the rope bridge.
All right, I'm there for it. I mean, I do forgive Temple of Doom enough because of the moment. It has while overall, I can't say I'm a huge fan of that particular adventure, but it has enough individual moments that really stuck with me where I forgave it.
I think and the big sticking point for a lot of people too is the Kate Capshaw character. As much as people complain about kid sidekicks, then there's like the screamy, whiny, like female stereotype, the damsel in distress. She is not a strong female heroine at all.
No.
And it's a shame because she starts off with this really killer musical
opening
number. I
sequence
love that
is amazing.
opening number to that movie, and I
Agreed.
think it's so cool. And we get like her smart ass attitude from that beginning with Lao Che, and then she just kind of devolves from that point.
Gold digger.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially coming after Marianne or Marion.
Well, it's interesting because they
Ginger.
said that was it. That they didn't want to repeat Marion. So what's the opposite?
Mission accomplished.
And that's what they went with.
I will even go on record and say that I think Kate Capshaw is a good actress. It's just Temple of Doom is not her shining moment.
Yes, best defense, right there with you.
Yeah.
All the way up here. That's a joke. If you guys, I saw Best Defense in the theater. It's one of the worst movies ever made. I'm surprised you haven't covered that.
No.
That is a deep cut. No, we abandoned that concept.
Best Defense came out the year of Temple of Doom, so of course I had to see it because Kate Capshaw was in it, and she was going to be in this Indiana Jones movie, right? She wasn't
So
in it yet.
you were talent scouting.
You just ignored Dreamscape.
I actually have never seen Dreamscape. Yes, I did ignore it.
Whoa, that's so good, man.
But it's Dudley Moore and Kate Capshaw,
No.
where he's a tank designer and everything goes wrong with the tank, and the movie tested so badly.
The tank humor.
And
With that elevator pitch, how could it have gone so wrong?
I'm trying to think. It's one of those 80s movies that's supposed to be a comedy, and there's absolutely nothing funny about it.
Nothing
So
funny
it's
about
not.
it,
It is a comedy without laughs.
There's so many of those.
So I think it was Paramount, but one of the studios, apparently either Eddie Murphy owed them a picture or they backed a truck of money up to Eddie Murphy's door, and they filmed 20 or 30 minutes of him as a tank commander testing Dudley Moore's tank.
Just to use in the trailers.
And everything goes wrong, and it looks like they just told Eddie ad-lib for 30 minutes.
Wow.
And then they intercut it throughout the movie, and they put him on the poster.
So,
and it is-
that's how you do it.
There's not a single scene with Dudley Moore and Kate Capshaw and Eddie Murphy together. I don't think there's a single scene of him not in the tank. I'm sure you can look it up on YouTube. And nothing Eddie Murphy is doing is funny either.
Oh no!
And
Oh no! So money well spent.
It's like him now. It's like Eddie Murphy
come
now.
on.
A brutal film. Anyway, my summer at Kate Capshaw did not go well.
No.
Man.
Well, this was going to be an intro that I was going to record to test the quality, but we've been going for 20 minutes, and I kind of feel good about it. To wrap up the Indiana Jones talk, though, I have been seeing a lot of advertising, and Disney Plus put out a little featurette the other day that I was like, all right, I got 3 minutes of time. I'm kind of curious about it. And I walked away with the feeling that I want to see this in theaters. I don't want to wait for home in this one.
I'm going to go see it in theaters, and I don't see much in theaters.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
I saw Avatar in theaters, and I think that was the last thing I saw. Before that was Doctor Strange, and I only saw Avatar because my buddy works on that and the 3D, and he kept telling me, well, he wanted my reaction, so I couldn't that was a fairly unpiratable film.
Yeah, so out of necessity, he went to a theater and saw it.
And he was
Under
like,
duress.
what do you think of the 3D? So it was kind of like, oh, I need to go see this. But there was 6 people in the theater, so it was a very enjoyable experience. And the 3D was absolutely the reason to see that movie, 100%.
Yeah.
Unbelievable in terms of you forget you're watching 3D. It just becomes like this immersive thing where almost nothing is in your face, but just has this nice smooth depth to it. And then I was telling Joe, that was balanced out by every 5 seconds me wanting to murder James Cameron for switching the frame rate nonstop throughout the
So
entire
distracting.
film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I heard they had done that with some of the Hobbit movies, and that alone made me not want to watch them in theaters.
It was jarring in the first one. It was all the way
The
through.
Hobbit, it was all the way through. It was terrible, but it was all the way through. This was like shot, reverse shot would have different frame rates, and they're not even. It's not even an action scene. You're just like, why are you doing this?
Yeah,
it drives me crazy.
Oh yeah, no, like just Sully and his family sitting around like know the campfire or whatever, and it's like what's happening? why is this going on?
Really, really bad.
All right. Well, that's been our Indiana Jones episode. Thanks for listening.
That was pretty good. That's our bonus episode.
As an aside, because in case you can't tell, I like Indiana Jones also. I do have a good chunk of the unproduced scripts. So if you guys have never seen them and you want to see them, read them, because they are very, very interesting.
Like all of the films, or are you talking specifically about that Darabont script that was meant to be part 4?
I've got City of the Gods, which is the Darabont script.
There you go. Yeah.
I've got Indiana Jones and the Saucerman from Mars, which is the Jeb Stewart script from '95. It's the guy that wrote Die Hard, or Lethal Weapon. Die Hard, one of them.
What's the difference?
I think that was Lethal Weapon. What's the difference?
And then,
how dare you?
Shots fired.
Oh no, he wrote Fugitive. He wrote The Fugitive.
Okay.
I don't care.
So that's why he was hot coming off The Fugitive, and Ford liked him, so he wrote it. And that one's really weird. You could read that and say, "Holy shit!" There's so much of Crystal Skull in this, but it's a completely different film.
Oh no.
No. And then there's, I think I've got a Raiders early draft that has like 30% of Temple of Doom in it. So all the stuff they cut. So what happened in almost every movie is they developed these scripts because George would have just tons and tons of ideas. And if you haven't seen the story conference for Raiders, that's just unbelievable. I'll dig that up too, because that's an amazing read. It's Spielberg, Lucas, and Kasdan sitting in a room for 2 hours telling Kasdan about it for the first time. And everything in the movie is in there. And then you also have, and it's great too, especially if you're like me, a George Lucas defender, or a George basher, to give you an idea. Every 95% of the good ideas are all George. Everything is relatively fully formed, and Kasdan will bounce off. And then almost everything that comes out of Spielberg's mouth is total nonsense. And it's like 1941 era Spielberg saying things like, the Nazi has to have a mechanical arm and a robotic eye. And
of course, he liked making movies.
Like he's just, it is constantly like George is doing, we're going to do serials and we're going to do Zorro. And Spielberg's like, like Flash Gordon, right? Like there's going to be a rocket ship.
No.
But it is weird because he's just so crazy over the top, and then George will be like, no, maybe not, and then just move on. And that just happens over and over and over throughout this conversation.
It's just Spielberg doing little key bumps before talking.
So that's fun. But
and then we'll have a rocket ship and then some mashed potatoes, and it means something.
But so there's a lot of Temple of Doom in that movie, and then there were 2 scripts for Indiana Jones 3, and I only have one of them, which is Indiana Jones and the Monkey King. And that was written by Chris Columbus.
Oh God.
Okay.
And
I'm sure it was great.
So there's a chunk of Last Crusade in
it's
it.
About a young Indiana Jones. His family goes on vacation. They leave him at home.
I would watch that.
Like it starts off in a haunted house or a haunted castle, like with ghosts and stuff. And then they go to Africa, and like he rides a rhino. So it's got the whole Last Crusade tank chase, right?
Oh, really?
Except he's not on a horse, he's on a rhino, and it's in the middle of the African jungle.
Oh my God.
And then at the end, this monkey god comes to life to give him eternal life from eating from the Garden of Peaches. Something like that. Like he eats a peach or something, and So it is like kind of like the same Holy Grail stuff,
Yeah.
just crazy,
Just
crazy,
coked out of his mind.
crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'll dig those up and I'll send them your way because they're fun reads.
Oh my God, yes. We do need to have a dedicated Indiana Jones episode, I guess.
I think this is it.
Because I know, right? You still want to do toys? Because like we could dive into this thing.
But to wrap up the Indiana Jones talk, yeah, I am excited about seeing it. I think I'm going to see it in theaters. And I was impressed by the little clip that Disney Plus had. It was like a little, not quite a making of vignette, but they showed a little scene. And I guess, I don't know Phoebe Waller-Bridger from, is that what it is? Phoebe Bridger-Waller?
Phoebe,
Puppy Baby Monkey?
Phoebe
Waller-Bridge.
Yeah.
I think that was close.
Okay. But she seemed charming. And Indiana, the one thing that's consistent with Harrison Ford, he's cantankerous, but anytime he has anything to do with Indiana Jones, I think he always says that's one of his favorite roles, and he'll jump at it. And he did. You can kind of see that life back in him in a few of these clips.
Well, it's a little bit of what you saw in The Force Awakens with his Han Solo. That was just a delight. If you've never seen the show Shrinking, you've got to check that out. Like this is,
you were talking about that.
Somebody harnessing like what's the best about him, especially now in his life, and kind of putting that on the screen. It's really well done.
I think they just had a bag of weed for him off stage.
Perfect. Perfect.
That got him in the door.
Somebody found the secret sauce. What was that movie he did with Rachel McAdams? He was like a news broadcaster or whatever, a morning show guy.
Morning Glory.
It was so horrendous. It was so bad.
I saw that in the theater.
Mm-hmm,
Did you
same.
read why?
Mm-hmm. Took my mom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
She didn't enjoy it either.
It was that and Hollywood Homicide were so. I remember just distinctly those two movies that made me not want to see Harrison Ford in a movie theater ever again.
Hollywood Homicide. So I was living in LA when that came out, and so I saw that in theaters because it was filmed like literally in half the places I passed on my way to work every day. You know, in the Venice canals, which were right by where I lived and everything, and. Even having that kind of I'm looking for landmarks the whole time, it was still an incredibly tough sit to get to that movie.
No.
I bet.
Really, those are the scripts you're just like, what did they just really give you a lot of money? Because I can't understand why you picked the script out of a pile of scripts.
Right? Like who did you owe that you got involved in that project?
Really bad. Really, really bad.
And you've never seen that, Joel?
I did actually see that. I caught part of that, most of that in a hotel randomly, which is exactly where you should see that movie. Like, if you're going to watch it at all, you can give that amount of attention to it while you're brushing your teeth on your way out the door. And I think you get the best of that film. Yeah, not impressed.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been wandering the toy aisles, Joel.
Oh,
but some stores have been putting out the reissues of the Indiana Jones action figures that came out back in the 80s. You had your Raiders of the Lost Ark figures. I don't remember them producing Temple of Doom or Last Crusade, but apparently this new line has them, which is fine. I mean, that's great. But I remember walking down the aisles, and that was like the one toy I never had with all my Star Wars action figures and my G.I. Joes and all this stuff. I would see those Indiana Jones ones at Toys R Us, and my dad would just be like, no, you don't need it. I was like, okay. I'd kind of like Indiana. No, Joe, you don't need it. You got Han Solo. You're right, Dad. I've got Han Solo.
Actor.
I don't need this.
Let's put a hat on him.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like a whole lot of cool nostalgia. So yeah, we're looking forward to that movie, and I'm looking forward to hopefully sharing that half-hour conversation we just had. But wait, did we ever get into why Indiana Jones? We never saw the production of the other.
No, I will. If you want to go full circle, I'll give you that.
We'll end the episode on that.
Way to bookend it, Joe.
Okay, so Indiana Jones in general is kind of a weird thing because Star Wars, massive hit, Jaws, massive hit, Close Encounters, big hit. So George Lucas, Steven Spielberg bring their new property to like every studio, and they get turned down at every studio.
Wow.
Partly because they, said we want all the rights ourselves. You're basically going to be the distributor. You're going to put up the money for it. We're going to control this. And Michael Eisner at Paramount was the one that took the bait and said, yeah, okay, I just want to be in business with you guys. No one thinks this 1930s thing is going to do any business, but who cares? And it was a tighter budget. I think they basically said, we'll make it for this much.
Mhm.
And, Lucas held Spielberg to a tight budget, and it worked out. But then on the same lines, they went to Kenner and everything and said, we have this new movie come out. And they're like, 1930s adventurer, who wants to buy toys of that?
Yeah.
And I just found this out relatively recently. Again, you go to my Instagram, I did like months and months worth, like a post a day of unproduced toys and the stories behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool. So I have a number of Raiders ones in there, Indiana Jones. But the bottom line is, Raiders of the Lost Ark came out summer of 81, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing merchandise-wise came out in 1981. The movie's a huge hit. Kenner has nothing for Christmas of 81.
No.
So they come out with the 12-inch figure, which is a Han Solo with new clothes.
Huh.
Oh my
So
God.
it's the exact same figure as Han Solo, 12-inch with new clothes. So if you go look it up, the face is the same, everything's the same. And 2 Parker Brothers board games. I think that's it. Maybe 1 board game. But that's all they came out with Christmas for 81. Then they go into production of the toys. So by end of summer in 82, they come out with 4 figures.
It is Han Solo. Okay, it is.
Do you see it?
Yeah, I see. That's the big figure. That's so bad.
Right. So it looks like, actually, I think October of 82 is when the figures finally come out, over a year after the movies come out for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Indiana Jones, Marion.
It looks like a hobo.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really weird. That hat is really strange. Of course, that's worth a ton of money now.
Oh, I'm sure.
And Tote and Arab Swordsman. So they come out with 4 figures, and that's the entire line for the year after the movie came out, right? And then the next year, they come out with the other 4 figures, which is Belloc, whatever, and then they have a mail-away Belloc. And they had the truck and a bunch of play sets and all of this. But it's crazy that most of this stuff didn't arrive until 1983.
Man.
Wow.
And so, because I'm looking at ads I found in the newspaper for June 1984, they're still advertising Raiders of the Lost Ark Kenner toys, and in the exact same ad, they've got a Temple of Doom storybook. So they were still introducing Raiders toys, and they didn't make that many. So they didn't sell well. They came out way too late. There was no push, no merchandise. So when Temple of Doom came around, Kenner basically said, we can't get rid of the stock we have. Like, we're having to close this stuff out at like 50 cents.
Jesus.
Because no one's buying it. Like, nothing's out there. So LJN made Indiana Jones, Mola Ram, and a Thuggy Guard, and they're just giant, weird, clunky figures.
Wow.
And they designed a short round, a minecart, and a Willy that never got made. So their entire line is 3 figures that didn't sell.
Man.
And then Last Crusade came around, and everyone said, we don't want to make a thing.
We're not going down that path again.
There's no video games. There's no board games. There's like a comic adaptation, I think, for Last Crusade, and that's it. If that. I don't even know if Marvel did comics for it. It was just like nothing.
Man. Well, I know they ended up doing a couple of NES adaptations of Last Crusade.
Well, that was
way after the fact.
Right.
Yep.
So in the early 90s, they came out with Star Wars Empire and Return of the Jedi, Super Star Wars, Super Empire for the Super NES.
Uh-huh.
So that was the big thing of the side scrollers, because I played that in college like crazy. And then they had Adventures of Indiana Jones, and it's all 3 movies in the side scroller. So you have to get through each movie stage, and I can still hear the music in my head.
I'm sure it was an accurate representation of the John Williams thing.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, you know what? The Star Wars, those games are pretty good. Yeah, the digitized music for those games are really good.
They're pretty good.
That's so funny to me that like at least such an influential franchise for me growing up could be such an albatross as far as marketing goes.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Next Wave Radio Network.
That's fucking gold.